Hi, this is Pastor John Crane. Our weekly devotional is on confidence toward God. And we're reading out of Hebrews 10:35, and it reads, "Therefore don't cast away your confidence, which hath great reward. For you have need of endurance, so that after you've done the will of God, you may receive the promise." You know, we're going to walk by faith and access all that God has for our life. We can't afford to cast away our confidence. You know, the word confidence means to have full assurance. It means to freedom from doubt and a trusting relationship. So confidence is really trust in action. You know, the enemy knows if we begin to have confidence in God that we're no longer going to live double-minded. He also knows that we're going to trust God rather than doubt Him. We're going to start expecting God to move in our lives, in our situation. You know, when we start waging war against these thoughts that limits God, I'll tell you what, there's nothing that we cannot do. Because as we believe God, that's how we access our freedom, our promises, and all that God has for us. You know, it's that place of faith that the patriarchs found, where they staggered not at the promises of God through unbelief. It was that confidence that caused them to obey the Lord and believe God through the most difficult of times. You know, when those who have confidence, I really believe it's those whose faith is becoming authentic. It's that place of a mature walk. And you know, when you have confidence towards God, you can believe God through whatever you're facing. But when you cast away your confidence, you begin to spiral in fear, and you begin to spiral in unbelief. And like Peter, you begin to lose ground. You know, Peter had confidence toward God, and he stepped out of the boat and walked on water. But when he lost his confidence in God, the very things that he was walking on began to consume him. And so that's what happens. When we cast away our confidence, we lose ground. We begin to lean on our own understanding again, rather than trusting God and getting to the other side of a situation, of a trial, of a crisis. And that's why it's so important that we do not cast away our confidence, because there is great reward. And that reward is that we get to walk in all of the promises of God. We get to access all of the good things that God has for us. You know, I began to think about this, and I began to think about the Apostle Paul and how here he was shipwrecked. When he was in the storm, he told everyone on the ship that no one would lose their life. And now they're shipwrecked, and they're on this island, and they're cold. And so Paul goes out and gets some sticks to make a fire. And as he's gathering sticks, it says a viper, a poisonous viper, bit him. And the islanders saw this, and they began to predict how he was going to die. They began to predict why this happened to him. And while this was going on, confidence rose up in Paul, and he shook the viper off in the fire. And none of those things happened to him. You know, that's what confidence does. It shakes things off. It causes you to rise above the things that the enemy sent to distract you and to discourage you. You shake it off because you believe God too much to let it stop you. And that's what confidence is. Confidence is that boldness to access everything that God has promised your life. And you shake off things because you trust God. You're living in a trusting relationship with God. You know, I ask that we all begin to really pray and get our confidence level up. Begin to get our confidence up in God. Begin to believe God, and watch what will happen this year in your life. Don't cast away your confidence, because there's great reward from the Lord. I can't wait to worship with you in this week's services. And don't forget to invite your family and your friends. And remember, God is too good to keep to yourself. God bless you.